Have you been trying to get into cars for a while, but you just don't know where to start? Well, this is the video for you. Today we're going to be talking about all the tools that you need to get working on your car. We're going to boil it down and I'm going to show you everything you need, the essentials to get you started working on your car. So before we get started, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget, drop a comment down below. Let's get started. What's up everybody, my name is Chase and today we're going to be talking about all the tools that you need to get started working on your car. I can totally see how anybody who watches big name automotive YouTubers with their $1 million toolkits feels a little intimidated by all the tools that they have and thinking that you may need to have to buy all that stuff just to get started working on your cars. You have to remember, they have really big budgets and you are working in your garage at home and really all you need is a ratchet set, a couple of screwdrivers, a hammer, some pliers, and some elbow grease, and you guys are off to the races working on your cars with the basic maintenance that you just need to do to your car to get into working on cars. Of course, we're going to be talking about impacts and drills as well, but that's going to come much later. Something that you need to remember when working on your cars is you're not going to be buying all these tools at one time. You guys are going to collect these tools over time, and that's really important to know because this is a long-term investment. We're going to be talking about different types of tools, quality of tools, from Harbor Freight to Craftsman to Snap-on. So let's hop right in and start talking about tools. All right, everybody, so pretty much everything on this side of this breaker bar here, this can do 90% of every single install that you need to be doing on your car. And a great place to start is a breaker bar. You're gonna use this thing a lot. There are a lot of nuts and bolts on our cars that are, Nissan's rusty Japanese shit boxes that need some motivation to get out of their location, and this is the tool that is going to get it done. Now, something that matches really beautifully with a breaker bar is a good ratchet set here. This one is from Harbor Freight, is the Pittsburgh brand. What's great about Harbor Freight is that their tools are pretty cheap, and they're pretty good quality, and there's a lifetime warranty involved in them. So if this thing breaks off in my hand, I take it to them and they replace it for free, the lifetime of the tool. Also, what's great about this set is this is the set that I started working on my car with. It came, we're missing a few sockets here, but it came with everything I needed in the range that I needed it in short sockets, all the way from 10 millimeter to 22 millimeter. We have deep sockets as well. We also have a spark plug tool here, spark plug socket. In there, there's a little rubber thing that grabs onto the spark plug, and then also a lug nut tool, which is really, really great. Also, you've got 3 different types of extensions. We've got a 6-inch here, we've got a 3-inch over here, and then also the beautiful universal joint that you can use when you can't quite get that ratchet where you need to. This universal joint comes in handy. The next set that I'm gonna say is probably most imperative, that if you're buying, if there's an order that you're gonna buy things, I would say buy your ratchet set, buy your breaker bar, and then buy yourself a good set of screwdrivers, okay? This should all happen in one trip. So buy yourself a good set of screwdrivers. This is the Milwaukee brand I'm using here. They're strong, they're tough, and they can be used for whacking things with the plastic handle, or they can be used for prying things out of the way. This is one of my favorite tools here, the flathead screwdriver, because it is pretty much the universal tool here. Moving on over to a pair of pliers. You're going to need a good set of pliers. These are the Harbor Freight brand as well. There's nothing wrong with this pair of pliers. I've had them for 3 years. They've been put through hell. This thing has been a hammer more than it has been a wrench, and it has never failed me. It all came in one pack. We've got needle nose. These were the channel locks. We've got some wire cutters and pliers here, just a normal standard set of pliers, and then of course some standalone wire cutters here. They're really helpful, really good set of tools. Next up, everybody's going to be doing interior mods. They're some of the easiest ones to start with when you're getting into the car world, and you're going to need to pry up your interior body panels, and you need to do that with a plastic set of interior body panel removal tools because you don't want to be scratching your plastic interior, and these will not do that. They do a really good job and they're very, very helpful. Moving on to the hammers. These things are great for kind of knocking out, in my coilover video I did a few weeks ago, getting that nut out of the bottom of the coilover, we used a hammer and it knocked it right out, and it did wonders. It did really, really well. This is a rubber mallet over here. This is really helpful to have as well when you don't want to damage something, but you want to gently motivate it to move out of the way. You're going to see a lot of the same brand here. Harbor Freight Tools. Here we are with their rainbow set of deep sockets, and they're great. I use them a lot. These are not impact specific, but they are important because over here, if you look to the left of this breaker bar here, you don't see an impact gun because you don't need one to start with. Keep that in mind. This is just to get you started. You're going to collect things as you go, okay? Remember that. You're not buying everything at once. You're starting over here with maybe 150 bucks, maximum 200 maybe max, okay? With Harbor Freight, go in there with 200 bucks and you're gonna be able to work on your car with 99% of you can do anything with this section right here. 200 bucks, you can work on 99% of the things in your car with $200 from Harbor Freight. So go to Harbor Freight and get the tools that you need. All right, so another tool that is really important to have when you're just getting started is a torque wrench. When you're working on your car, it's really important to be safe, and the Pittsburgh brand, the Harbor Freight brand, click style torque wrench is a great torque wrench for the money. I think it's like 30, 40 bucks, and it is something that you should definitely pick up along the way. You may not need it right away, but it is important. It might be one of the next steps of tools that you get. I think it's really important to torque things down all the way to the factory spec. I do not torque things down all the way, but I should, and I need to be better about that. Need to take the extra step to torque them down all the way so I am safe. I always do it with the important things like lug nuts and suspension pieces. So, you know, keep that in mind. Buy a torque wrench, put it on your list. You may not need it right away, but you will need it. So put it on the list. Something you're also going to need right away is a floor jack. All right, this is a 3-ton Craftsman floor jack that weighs a ton. These things are awesome. It is not a low race jack or anything fancy like that. My parents got this for me for Christmas or my birthday, so shout out to you, Mom and Dad. This is also a great way to get tools. If people ask you what you want for your birthday or Christmas or whatever, say tools and write the list down. Be like, this is what I want. And be straight up, be honest with them and tell them what you want. That way everybody's happy here, and that's a great way to collect a good set of tools. Also, jack stands are really important. A good set of jack stands are really important. I would not recommend Harbor Freight jack stands at all because they have been known to fail. So be sure with any safety equipment like jack stands, floor jacks, anything like that, that you buy a good quality floor jack, a good quality jack stand, because it is important. You are the one underneath the car working on it, and the last thing you want is that jack stand to fail because you decided to spend $30 instead of $50 on a set of jack stands. So buy the important stuff, spend the money on the important stuff, and it will protect you for the rest of your life. All right, guys, so a quick tip for everybody working on cars at home that's just getting started. You're going to have quite a few options of drive size, and that means the little square on your ratchet set. This is a 3/4 inch drive. That means the square on the back of the socket set here is 3/4 inches, and that means that fits together, works great. It's a little heavy duty. That means it's not going to rip or break or anything like that. But what I did when I first started out is I forgot what size this socket set was. So when I went to Harbor Freight and bought this breaker bar, I saw the 1/2 inch size and was like, oh yeah, that's gotta be the right size. It wasn't. So now, anytime I wanna use this breaker bar, I have to use a 1/2 inch drive to do that instead of using these 3/4 inch drive sets, okay? And so you want to make sure you want to buy the same drive across the board when you're first starting out. That way you don't have to buy multiple of the same tool to get the same job done, okay? So just pay attention to what drive size you have and make sure that you buy that drive size across the board. All right, guys, so now getting over here to the cooler side of the table here, we are going to talk about impact guns, drills, impact sockets, and these fun kind of universal bits over here. When I bought my Ryobi impact and drill gun, or drill, it came on sale in a kit, and it was like, instead of $400, it was like $150. And so it was a great deal. And this is, you know, it's kind of one of those things you had to buy at that time. And so I spent the money and got myself a good impact and drill set here. You know, there's a lot of debate across the board. Which one's better? Is it Milwaukee? Is it DeWalt? Is it Ryobi? Is it Makita? It doesn't matter. They all do the job, and whichever brand that you can afford is the brand you should buy. So basically, when you buy an impact, you're going to need to buy impact sockets. I made the same mistake, and I bought 1/2-inch impact sockets instead of 3/4-inch impact sockets. So I can only use the impact sockets when I have my 1/2-inch impact socket adapter on there, which is fine. It's a little annoying, but it's fine. And so, you know, you don't need these to start off with, but I bought all of this probably 2 years ago, and I just bought this stuff in the first year of me working on cars. And so, you know, it came later on. It didn't happen right away. It all progressively kind of gets better. Your tools get better, your skills get better, and everything like that. A quick tip: don't use an impact on everything. It's not important. It may get the job done faster, but I've seen so many things get stripped and rounded off and broken because people start off with an impact gun. If you need to break a bolt loose, use an impact gun. Absolutely. But if you're driving something in, make sure you start it with a ratchet set and then finish it off with an impact gun. There is such a thing as over-tightening bolts and nuts. So please don't over tighten it. That's almost worse than not tightening it enough. Something else, you'll see this toolkit here. It is a great toolkit from Craftsman Tools. It has everything that I need in this one. It's just a little upgraded, a little bit higher quality. It's got spanners over here that range all the way from 9mm to 17mm. We've got every single socket in 1/2-inch and 3/4-inch drive. We've got a screwdriver that's got a bunch of adapters here. We've got Allen wrenches. It's good quality. I love this toolkit. And what's great about Craftsman Tools is that they're a little bit more expensive than Harbor Freight, but they have a lifetime warranty as well. So if you want a little higher quality tool, a little nicer fit and finish, you know, we've got the black anodized, you know, wrenches and stuff like that. It looks good, it feels good, and it gets the job done great. Spend money on Craftsman. I think they're a great tool brand. And also, they have a lifetime warranty as well. Fill out the form, they'll send you a tool. It's really great. All right, everybody, this section of the video is really probably one of the more important ones. These are the tools that you don't get told about, but you see get used all the time, and you should have in your toolbox or your tool cart. The first and foremost one is the nut and bolt jar. Many new car parts that you put on, they come with new hardware. Take that old hardware off your car and put it in this jar, because you never know when you're going to need that hardware again. Thread locker is very important. It keeps the spinning bolts and important bolts that need to stay in there in the spot that they need to be. So it's very important when installing thread locker. If it had thread locker on it before, replace that thread locker, put it on there. We all are working on Japanese shit boxes, American shit boxes, whatever they are, whatever your shit box is, you need PV blaster, because there is going to be a stubborn bolt. It's always a good idea to spray the bolts down that you're going to be working on the day before, 12 hours before, whatever it is, so that you can basically have some help getting these nuts and bolts off. It's always a good thing to have. Brake part cleaner. These cars are old that we're working on. They have a lot of shit and grime and grossness on them. Use this stuff to clean it off. It's cheap, it's easy. Don't forget to use your brake parts cleaner. It's really helpful. I just started using it and it's been amazing. Next is one of these magnetic trays. You slap this thing in your engine bay when you're working, and you just put all your nuts and bolts in here, and it's really helpful to keep and stay organized. And guys, that is the tools that you didn't know about that you needed, but now you do. All right, so you may be asking yourself, where do I carry and put all of these tools that we've just talked about? I love a good tool cart. I know the big toolboxes are really attractive. These things are like $100, $150 from Home Depot, especially when they're on sale. You can pick them up for even cheaper. And this carries every single tool that we just talked about. And I don't even have a big tool set. Many people have a much larger toolkits, but you know, I have what I need, and this is what it gets the job done. And something that we haven't talked about yet are these specialty tools like the ball bearing presses, the ball joint presses, things like that. Any tool that you don't have that's kind of specialty, you can rent from AutoZone, Advanced Auto Parts, and so keep that in mind. You don't have to buy everything. If you do want to buy it, you can buy them on Amazon. You know, Harbor Freight has them as well. That's a specialty tool. It may not be the highest quality, it may break on you, but it might get the job done. Just go ahead and rent it, don't spend the money. It's free, and you know, like I said, these tool crates are awesome, and they do the job. They get everything exactly where you need it, and you can, of course, organize the absolute mess out of it, just like every workspace should be. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. This is a new series that I'm starting and I'm really excited about. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first video of the, you know, how to work on your car as a beginner. And so hope you guys go out, buy some tools, get to working on your car. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching this week's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and definitely subscribe down below. Peace out, have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!
Different doesn't mean